Hello YouTube friends, welcome to the Red Parrot channel. I am your host, Mary Ellen. This is an episode of Junk Journal Mayhem, which is a calamitous daily ephemera making experience hosted by Cindy at Studio Lou. There is probably a hashtag. I'm gonna go Junk Journal Mayhem as the hashtag. And so I have not been making ephemera, but I have been using this prompt list to make, to alter paper, to color it in some form or another. And I've predominantly been using jelly plates and then just some basic white photocopy paper or dictionary paper or whatever. I got a cup of tea. And so let us see what we have wrought. So I have done bottle cap, which I'll show in a while, bread and milk tie, leaves, and also worn clothing. So I think that's what I've done today. I've done a couple of other fun things as well that we will go through, I think, because we might as well. So first one is jelly plate. This is, what is this? It's Columbine or Kigila. Not very pronounced in terms of seeing the leaves. However, I do love the method of having multiple colors of paint down at the same time. One of the struggles that I have here through this almost this entire batch is being able to figure out enough contrast between the paints and the actual print. So, not a good print, but a good piece of paper. So I'll take it. Next, we have, let's do this, because I'm going to be able to see the color. This is the, I use tissue paper to remove the paint that is surrounding the leaves. So essentially what I am doing is, here's the gel plate, put paint on, put some leaves on, tissue, pat, 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 take that off, leaves off, let everything dry, another coat of paint, and while that paint is still wet, pull this. And so this is my pat off tissue paper. And this is done over multiple pieces, so I don't just do one. The first one was just this single color of orange, and it's not enough, so I had to do a couple more layers. And it's pretty good. Where is my new little label of people that I know? Nope. Oh, for Pete's sake. Anyways, Joanne says that. I'm not mad at that, so I'm not mad at that. Ooh, yes, this one. Love this. So this is on rice paper, and it is, what is this? This is still, yeah, it's still Columbine. And so when I peeled off the various leaves from the gel print, I put them down on this and pat, 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 and then peeled and got sort of the residual paint that was left. And I like that a lot. It is very, very lovely. That would be such a pretty page. So, happy with that. Next piece, possibly what I would call the best print that I got from the Columbine, and really like the color combination that I used, like the yellow and then the blues and greens to pull that off. It doesn't look like a leaf, and it looks like a satisfying color way. I spent some time thinking about color before I started. I know, uncharacteristic. Okay, so this is on a full sheet of sticker paper from Avery, and this is violets. This turned out really nice, really pronounced flower veining there. Happy with that. Next is, oh yes, so this is, let's hold some of this up because the prints are really good. So this is, this light blue is, what is this? This is chamomile, healer mile, not sure which. This initial swipe was I put way too much paint on the gel plate, which is a problem that I have. And so I had to do an emergency swash. And then there's also this piece here and a couple of other pieces are violets. So I've got two different kinds of leaves here. Looks kind of mayhemy, as it should. Liking that one. Next one is another one of these roll-off pieces. This is the outline of the oh my goodness, what have I been calling it? It's a T, chamomile. This is probably the best leaf as it came up, but also pretty. And it is a distinctive color. It is not 10,000 colors. One more thing about this. This may not be done yet because one of the other things that I do is splatter painting with usually black, white, gold, maybe a neon pink or a neon orange or a neon green. Some combination thereof. Or I don't. It's fine. What are these? These are stickers. So this is the lift of the chamomile. And there's that good print. And this is a preparation, in preparation for the Paris journal, where this colorway of the blue and the pink, I think is necessary. So how big are these stickers? So that's how big this sticker is. I'm happy with that. And you can see that there's residual paint that is left. I'm not doing deliberately not doing a let us strip the gel plate completely clean from paint to paint because it creates interest. Some more stickers in the pink colorway. Those are two long ones, and those are three itty bitty ones. Itty bitties. Something stuck to that. There we are. Oh yes, and so I think I might have mentioned that I went to Michael's. One of the things that I got was some lace. This is originally that stark white, and I have sploshed this with I have a turquoise ink and kind of a glittery pink, and wanted to see how that would work on a gel plate. Doesn't, but it sort of goes purpley, so it works. It didn't produce the effect that I wanted, which was kind of a more softer model. Tried it again. That was kind of what I was looking for, but this is it. We need to learn, and the only way we can learn is by doing the thing. And then this is just a little bit of, I'm just going to do straight pink because I wanted to see what that looked like. So those are that. That's that. I was thinking as well, though I didn't do it this round, that this would be beautiful to use in the initial, like I would be using the leaves. So here's the gel plate, you put some paint on, then you press this down and then you peel it off. You would be able to get a really nice print. Maybe doing that kind of alignment. That'd be pretty gorge, I think. Or not, you never know. Yep, this is rice paper. This is you can barely see it, I think, because I did not choose appropriate colors, but you can sort of see the pieces coming out here and along here. This is a large fern frond, and I left this rice paper far too long and it's stuck. So this is actually the peel off from the paper. So I had to do a emergency gel plate repair. Not mad with the colors, did not turn out the way I want. I mean, I am basically trying to create a pronounced leaf print. I am creating interesting paper, but I am not really creating leaf prints. But that's okay. I don't mind. What's this next one? Okay, so this is slightly better. Slightly. Not by much. Yeah, you can see it. You can see it. I'm just standing up. Still not doing as good a job as I could with the contrasty. I probably should have used just the dark and the medium green, or even just the dark green, and then lifted it off with that color. So the dark and the light, or at least the dark tone and the light tone, will make the most contrast, that will make this appear the most. And so I am just still faffing around. Still a nice piece of paper though. Be interesting. It's an interesting paper. What is this? Oh yeah, this one's fun. This is, this is the gel plate, paint, leaves, tissue paper, pat, 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 pat. The first pull, and then I did it again. I did a second pull, but this time I moved the paper 9 degrees, 180 degrees, so that I would get this cross hatching. So that basically I get a print this way and a print that way, so it's a double print. So I get this kind of a funky look to it. Also kind of fun. One of the things that I do with the tissue as well is stamp on it. What else? Okay, so these are a bunch of roll-offies, and this is just some, like a weird annual report thing. This is Hamlet, and you can see the various colors that I'm rolling off. Okay, so let's do that, let's do that. Oh yeah, so this is, and that's another roll-off. This is my attempt at the bread tab stamp. Did not go to plan, also did not go to plan, because I am using paint colors that are too tonally close to each other. And light color does not, it can't fight very well, and so it all kind of blendies. But I do have the print block now done of this, so that is always a considered progress. And these can be stamped on, oh, what's that? It's stuck on something. Oh, there we are. These always can be printed over. This is a dark blue, and I normally don't have like these darkish colors, and not opposed, not opposed. And what's this one? Okay, so this is the last one. So I saw 49 Dragonflies do a gel print where she wanted to do some denim, and I thought I wanted to try that. So under we're now on to the worn clothing. So I thrifted, broke a rule that I often follow and almost exclusively follow. There's some items that I just won't thrift because there are people in the world that need that item for actual functionality. And one of those things is anything related to children. So particularly clothing, shoes, so on and so forth, because I don't want to take the clothes off a little child's back. Having said that, I bought a very small denim jacket, and I wanted to see if I could do that as a pull. And I'm waiting and sort of doing some preamble so that you know what I did. Anyways, this is the print. So you can see there's the pocket, and there's the front placket. And I used two colors. I used a dark blue, and then this kind of a light, kind of beigey tone. And that beige sort of mixed with the blue and gave it that kind of an off color. This is possibly the best print that I have ever done in terms of what I intended in my head. Like in my dream state, this is what I would get. And then when I pulled it off and it was successful, I freaked myself out and I couldn't do anymore because it's like, well, now what do I do? I intimidated myself. So we will get back to jelly printing, no fear. This worked a treat. So a couple of other things. This was the first press of this coat. So it had no prior paint layers on it. And denim and wet acrylic paint pulls up the paint in a very specific, detailed way, different from, say, leaves, which have some resist, but they are not absorbing the paint. Material absorbs the paint, and that maybe that's why it's giving a better print. In any event, I love that. That worked out super, super well. So again, there is an importance of when something is wet, when something is dry. So the way I did this was gel print, navy paint, paint still wet, clink the denim on, pat, 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 peel it off, let that dry completely. Then take that color, squirt, 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 brayer, do, paper on top. And then this is where you do that sort of wax on, wax off. And you don't be in a hurry to pull the print. You just sort of let it sit there. You can let it dry, I think, depending on the kind of paper you have. So the rice paper, you need to have like something sturdy, like a photocopy paper. Don't try tissue paper, I don't think, or the rice paper was an absolute mess for me. And then you just sort of peek at a corner and see what kind of lifting has happened. And if you see that the gel is largely clear, then you just sort of gently pull it off and you should be able to have your ta-da moment. So that is what I was able to do for some of this for Junk Journal Mayhem. The other thing that I did was a bottle cap, and I did this. And so this is ginger beer that happens to be a pirate. I've smashed it all down, and you can't, can you see? Can you see? Can you see? Maybe you need a white piece of paper again. There, you can see there, right there. I've pierced a hole in that with an awl. So I will be able to thread that through, and then I can have it as like a little dangle of some kind or another. I had dragon bottle caps, and I must have thrown them out or something because I couldn't find them. And this is like the time to use them. So I might have to go out and do an industrial forage this week to see if I can find some more. kind of bummed me out. So if you are interested in doing this, the way I did this was I had a hammer. Consider this a block of wood. It's much larger, but we're doing this for sample purposes. Then you put the bottle cap at the edge, and you just very gently just like not hit this way, but sort of hit with the motion of wanting to curl up the bottle cap. Just do it a little bit, turn, a little bit, turn, a little bit, turn, and you keep turning and increasing the amount of fold until it becomes even, and then bash, 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 bash. If you don't want to have this scratching, use a piece of leather between the bottle cap and the wood so you don't get all that scratching. And then I just use my normal awl. I don't know if you can see that. My normal awl. There. And just hammer, hammer. So I'm happy with that. What else have I been doing? So big old paint sesh this weekend. So that was today, what I just showed you, and that was for Junk Journal Mayhem. I also wanted to replenish the rice paper. Remember I used the rice paper that had the marker, what do I call it? Flooding? I don't know. I'll describe the process. In any event, that was all I had left, and I wanted to get some more paper. So we'll go through what I did. I use, I need to have something white so you can see it. There we go, that's better. Use coffee filters to do some mop-ups because coffee filters are amazing. And I am here to report that I have used half a package of coffee filters, and I am super proud of that. I don't know if I've put that many coffee filters actually in journals yet, but that I have used them is pretty great. So this is, and you can see that I'm just creating interesting colored paper. So we've got that. Okay, so let us start off with some rice paper. So, isn't this great? I was super excited about this. So, funny story. I made a mistake and I put 2 pieces of rice paper down and then did the water flooding. And so it was like super rich color looking. I was using intense color to start with, but it was because I layered it. So throwing it out there for anybody who is interested. If you stack your papers, maybe 2, don't do like 20. Well, you can do 20 if you want. I don't care. Report back if you do and tell us if it works or not. This whole idea, you can see there. You can see. That matches. That splodge matches. It's kind of like that. So how do I do this? I take a blank piece of, I'm either using rice paper or I'm using a coffee filter. I have a Tombow marker, the brush end, just put on patches of color, any which way, any color combination, etc., etc. Then have some kind of plastic base, like saran wrap or old plastic packaging, whatever. The plastic is important because the plastic makes sure that the dry time is very slow to allow the inks to move around. So then marker it all up. This is plastic. Put this down, spray quite liberally. So, and you'll see that the paper will just get sopping wet and it will sort of lie down like this. And then you can do all kinds of, if you want, you can just let it sit there, which is usually what I do. But if you want to be fancy, you can sort of, you know, peel the water around. I sometimes will use this to dab up bits and pieces that I was just overly enthusiastic with the watering, so I could peel that up. And then just let it dry. And then the color will naturally move around. And then this you can see barely that my color choice here was making triangles and then putting color between the triangles. And this was like a dark purple and kind of like a brown. Love this colorway. Love how that turned out. These are more of the Paris colors. So this is just a nice blobs of pink and blobs of blue. This I created a grid pattern just to see what would happen and then put in some blues. The speckling happens because I am using this then as a mop-up, and then I'm getting a speckle. What else do we have? Okay, so, oh yes, okay, so this had a lot of water. That one, and then that one. Getting better at color mixing. So purple and reds, splodge of blue. I didn't put like orange in here or green in here or black or anything. I'm learning something, I'm not sure what, from using the color box. This one I like a lot too. It's going to be for sure Paris. Okay, so moving on, and these are just color choices. This was boxes, so patches of red and patches of blue. And you can see this was probably on a tilt because it sort of comes down this way. It feels like it's pouring down this way. And a lot of mixing and a lot of color separation. You see, you can get the yellow has come out, and then there's making green with the blue. And that's another, it's very unpredictable what happens here. There's not much management. The only control you really have is what color you're picking for a tombow and where you're putting the initial marker down, and what are you doing, like hashes or just free forms or circles or whatever. And then after that, it's good luck, Godspeed. Next one, this is a blue and a green. And I was trying to do water. Kind of over inked the green, I think. This light green, this sort of is an acid green. Not a lot of blue, but there we are. This one is yellow and green, yellow and orange. And I flip it over because they're slightly different. Slightly. There's the color side and the non-color side, but the soaking is virtually complete. So there's yellow. This is pink. I'm telling you the colors like you don't know the colors. You know the colors. This was, you can see very specific stripes. So different colors react differently. So some of them have sort of a fixed color to them. And I think this was kind of like a burgundy or a red burgundy. And then others like pink just moves and just does its thing. The same thing with yellow. And I think that's probably because of how the color is initially made. Here's the purple. Like this one. This is probably going to go into the Paris one as well. Oh, here's a better blue. Like this one. When I was spraying them down, I was probably doing something like that. So you can see sort of where the colors would have leaked into each other, which is perfectly fine. I mean, I'm not the least bit fussed by that. This is about creating interesting colors. The other thing, and you can sort of see here, I'll hold this up so you can see the spot. So this here, there's another one that's like right here. Those are air bubbles. So you can place the paper down just perfectly flat, or you can do a little bit of water priming beforehand. And just because dry paper and water are sort of sticky, so you would drop it and it sort of creates this kind of a non-smooth surface. Everything will get wet, but you will keep these pockets. And as the material dries, water will go to its natural edge and it's drawing the ink along as everything evaporates, and you get these sort of interesting lines. Here's another one that's got a nice pocket in it. That pocket there, that's a pocket air. And this is yellow and orange. I like that one a lot, and there's another one that's right there. And that's all to create, you know, variety and interest. And then this very large piece, when I was cutting all of this rice paper down, I had this weird piece left over, and it's like, oh, let's just do some pink, some hot flamingo pink. And so there we are. So that is all we wrought for making colors. And I did do one more thing, and we can just have a little test. Let's try this. So when I was using the, making the print for the, I just don't like the boar head. I'll take it off. Yeah. Squirrel. For the bread tabs, my template, how I create the print board is I take a piece of cardboard and then I just glue them on. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And while I was up, I thought, one of the things that I like is lines. It's not a surprise to anybody, I don't think. But I also like writing lines. And I don't have a convenient way of being able to create lines on a piece of paper like this. So let's say this is our little journal card, and I want to be able to put some lines. So here's what I did. I created a thing. We'll see if it works. This is approximately quarter inch lines. And the way I created this was I created little notches at the end here. So start off, rectangle, draw your lines, snip the various edges, and then hold one piece and then just pull. This is cotton yarn, like Bernat would have, or maybe at like a Dollar Tree or a dollar store. It is 100% cotton. It's really crummy to use. It is not crummy to use. It has very specific purposes, and the most common purpose that I have seen is knitting dishcloths and face cloths. I use my high test glue, a little patch. I didn't do the whole thing at once, and then wrap tightly enough so that there is some tension. Wrap, 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 making sure that each string pass is going to hook into the notch that you've made. I did this in three passes, so second, third, and then third. And then because this is all glued, there's not much chance of this unraveling anyways, but I just tucked them in the back to make sure that would work. So let us see if this works, because I have no idea. Okay, so this is really what we gotta do, I guess. Okay, let's see. I'm not breathing. I should breathe. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And we'll both be smarter. Ooh. Yes. Okay. Okay. That is not a fail at all. Oh, hold that up. I'm looking at it. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. There we are. That is lines. Absolutely. And I even chose a color that goes with that. Fun. So we have good. I now have a method to be able to impart lines if I want them. And I think over time, this will, it will build up, because one of the, so this is another moisture soaker, because it is thread and ink is liquid based. So basically it took a while for the ink to transfer here. I wonder, I'm sure that if I misted, we're not going to worry. This is fine. Let's stop there and call that a success. So that, I think, is everything that I've been able to get up to this weekend. I didn't really do any journaling. I've just been messing around with paper, making some paper. And I am very happy. Very happy with, I will bring this up. This is my pièce de résistance. So I'll need to make more of these. And I need to test to see if the second pass and third pass is as satisfying as this. Because my theory is that the second pass will not be as crisp and clean, because this will have paint on it and it will resist some of the absorption. One more thing before I go. I finished a little housewife, which is going to be my thread holder, my thread needles for here. So I've got a couple of spots of embroidery thread, my 2 little tabs. This is flannel. So I've got like a thicker needle that could do signatures, and then some light needles. And I got a couple of pins and some embroidery thread. And then this just sort of roly-polies. And this bit here came as a result of Junk Journal Round Robin, as did the white beneath it. And then the other stuff is just the other stuff. And I am going to say that I either got this on a thrift, or it is part of something that Shell at Shell's Creative Chaos gave me in a bit of something. In any event, I now have needle and thread available in the event we do something here. So that is all for now. It's a 40-minute video. It's a sort of a weekend roundup. Hope your weekend was safe and healthy and everything you wanted it to be. Please take the best care of yourself. Stay out of trouble. Love you lots, and I'll see you soon. Bye now.